My name is Amy Bogard.
And I'm Mike the Hobbit.
And we are the hosts of Deeply Upsetting, where we use our expertise to answer your most upsetting hypothetical quandaries, such as what non-winged animal deserves wings?
And what body part deserves a secret mouth?
Which cryptid is the worst roommate?
These questions and more that plague you will be answered on Deeply Upsetting, available anywhere you get your podcasts and at GUIPodcast.com. The views and opinions expressed on Geekfather are those of the panelists and not those of the Geeks Under the Influence Network, their affiliates, or sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. This is for the parents and not for the kiddies.
Geekfire!
Can you try one more time? Say no. Geekfather real loud.
Geekfire way loud! I just did it.
Hey guys, welcome back. That's right, it's another week, which means it's a whole new episode of The Geekfathers.
What's up?
What's up, man? I am Scotty P here, of course, with my homie. And who is this over here?
Smash.
Hey, Smash.
Smash.
Mr. Kyle Smash, if you don't know already, guys. Welcome back, man. Nice to see you again.
You too, bud.
Yeah, man, we've been apparently busy this week. We've been hopping on other shows, apparently. I was able to record a Beautiful Disasters earlier this week.
I was whoring my voice out.
You were
a little bit.
Whoring. You're just a whore anyways.
That's, yes. Well, wait a minute.
Wait.
I feel weird inside about that.
Should we specify what type of whore?
We're going to edit that part out.
No, we are not.
No,
because if anybody listens to this show at this point, there's not much editing out. Because parenting, you don't get to edit.
That's true. That's true. There's no do-overs. You just got to kind of have to move forward.
Roll with, if you will.
Right, exactly. No, I actually did a From the Mouths of Madness last night.
Right.
So, my whoring my voice out to those two.
Yeah, well,
Mr. Lowdown and FU Hunter.
Yeah, and of course mine was the FU Hunter with the Mr. Anthony Groots, of course.
You did the beautiful disasters.
Yeah, which we did a fun one. It was a Rambo, the 2008 Rambo.
Rambo 4.
Bloody goodness, But anyways, guys, welcome back. Appreciate you listening up. Of course, we're here to bring you all the trials and tribulations of being a geeky parent as we make through this crazy, wild world. Which it has been lately.
Lately?
Well, in some good ways, though. We were able to see everybody at Virginia Comic-Con the other week, which was so much fun.
It was.
Because
it was. And you know what's great is that a lot of people wore masks, probably whether they didn't need to be or not, and mainly because of the costumes, but... it was just, everybody was very safe. It was a safe environment. That's what I appreciated about how it was set up.
Very much so. It was a great turnout. It was great to just see the people, if you will. And based on that, really, I'm proud to say that hopefully, at least with our show as well, I know we do with some of the other shows, we have some new listeners. So whether or not you've gone back to the old episodes, or if this is your first one, welcome, guys. We appreciate you chiming in and seeing what's going on. And
I know, that's pretty cool.
I know, it's awesome. We always appreciate you here, and it's a wild ride sometimes, to say the least. Mm-hmm. So, but thank you once again. But that to me really kicked off because even last weekend I was able to do Scares That Care.
Yeah, how was that?
Oh, that was so much fun. Again, everybody wearing the mask. They because especially for...
It was outdoors, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was at Doubletree Hilton or something in Williamsburg, but it's no, it's not a convention center. It was just straight up the hotel.
Okay.
However, since Scares That Care, first off, if you don't know who Scares That Care are, a great organization that puts on... as long as things allow for, obviously we know the dark times last year and even previously this year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, of where they put on, it's a horror convention.
Yeah.
What they do, though, is that it's not just one person or one family. Usually it's multiple families where they raise money to basically help these families with terminal illness, various cancers, various ages.
It's pretty strictly like volunteer for the, I think all of it, isn't it? The actual workers and everybody, it's a volunteer sort of situation.
I believe it's all volunteers. Even the gentleman who puts it on, John, I believe is his first name. I know his last name is Ripple, John Ripple, started it with the basis of it's nothing but something to give back to the community.
Right.
So with that, I believe you can just go to scaresthatcare.org for the website. There's various websites because it's one of those where he shares the conventions with other people, can put it on in other cities.
Right.
And so there's a few other cities. Some people travel to do them all the time. Again, it's hard to tell because you have people that will attend these events with terminal illness.
Right.
So, yes, masks were definitely recognized, CDC being followed, and everybody was super respectful of it. All the celebrities, they have some of the best celebrities, let me tell you that as well.
I saw a lot of great pictures.
I had so much fun. And a couple of them were some bucket list people, but every year that they're able to do this convention, the celebrities, the way they not just treat everybody, but again, because we're parenting and we're doing the parent thing, is that the way these celebrities, especially for being involved with the horror business, horror genre, they're great people, which, I mean, is better than most. I'm just going to say they're better than a lot of other celebrities, and there's other celebrities. Anyways, I'm getting off on one of my old man tangents already.
Oh, man. It's like, we're going to go deep on these celebrities. Who are we attacking? Let's get them.
Nobody we're attacking because actually I'm giving props to the way these celebrities were and the way they treat the kids, the way they
son of a bitch.
Well, and these celebrities know obviously what the convention is. So a lot of the celebrities come back multiple times. Mm-hmm. As in, they're more concerned with helping raise the money to do the raffles, to do the things to help these families, more than worrying about getting a paycheck at the end of the weekend.
Right, and I have yet to go to a Scares That Cares. I wanted to go this time, but I had a trip previously planned, a family trip.
And that's been part of the headache really coming towards, which we're getting at the end of summer. We're already having to prep for back to school.
Oh, God.
We're in the beginning of August at this point.
Let's hope they go back in.
They go back in and...
oh boy, that would be wonderful on everyone's mentality.
But the way things have opened just enough, we're trying to cram in so much stuff before they got to go back to school.
That's just, it's a scary situation.
Hard part,
Like we had actually gone, I went to the beach, just the local hour and a half away, and, it was crowded. So we spent more time looking for a safe spot.
Right.
And once we found one, we were safe. We were distanced from enough people, and we could kind of be in our own safe bubble, and that was great.
Exactly.
But it was almost difficult to find. Like I was almost like, all right, maybe we just go back home because this is too much. But
right. Well, see, and we've done the beach.
We got lucky.
Yeah, and we've been the same way. Even when we did an earlier trip this year, just trying to beat the crowd, for birthdays and stuff, just going before it really hit big time summer.
Right.
It wasn't that bad, even the big tourist area. But the last time we went a few weeks ago, we were guided to a little, I don't want to say it's a private spot, but definitely off the beaten path.
Hey, there you go.
We didn't have to worry about. There were people out there, but not like you're not fighting off 20 frat kids and different, some big party thing. No, it was like family. Everybody had their little circle, So it was good to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're a rock star.
It was so much like a rock star. But my boys have basically been hitting up the pool. That's been their big treat this year compared to last summer. Mm-hmm. Is that they're just able to go swimming. Period. Right. Just enjoy a body of water, even if it has a concrete floor. So, that's...
They just want to go out and have fun.
Exactly, And we've been doing some other stuff. We, never really planned a big trip because we, at the beginning of it all, we weren't sure how the summer was going to be. So I didn't want to sit there and try to make a reservation somewhere or do something. And all of a sudden it's like, either you can't do it or there's super heavy restrictions that make it more difficult to do.
Yeah.
Which, I'm fine with the restrictions that have happened and are happening because... Let's be honest, we're on the rise again.
Well, yeah.
But besides that, because I don't want to get into tangents on that today.
No, not today.
Not too much.
No.
But
I'd love to. But,
I would like to. We're having that little small window of just go have fun before school starts.
It looks like that. It's almost at this point I'm going, is it a mirage? Is it just leading me to the edge of the cliff
some
where I couldn't see before?
Some
and I'm
weird
just
oasis
so
that
desperate.
is just out of reach,
right?
You know, where
so desperate that I'm just like, I walk right off the edge and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Wile E. Coyote style, and just
because
drop.
It's coming because our kids are in the same school district.
Yeah.
Even though we just live on kind of different sides of the district. But they've already put out there for masks are most likely going to be worn during school this year.
They're going to have to, and you know, and that's another. There's money now and things in place to help provide for at least hopefully a lot of schools where they can provide the safety that our kids need.
Exactly.
You know, and that's the most important thing. Like, it can be done. It's just got to be done safely. You know, and as a parent, like I would prefer that they require for the families of these children to be vaccinated. I genuinely wish, you know, I know that's probably, there's stepping on toes, but I don't really care.
It's not even
the safety of my child.
Well, yeah, and it's not even stepping on toes. It's for the public school system how much they can actually demand.
Well, that's understandable. Like,
you know, but I agree with you. I mean,
I would prefer that. Be like, I would happily go, yep, you know, here, you know, they're safe, or at least as safe as possible.
In an ideal world,
now.
Because you and I see very odd, and most of us, I'll say in GY or in our families and such, see pretty eye to eye on how we feel about what we're talking about there. And
I like the people I love living, you know.
You know,
I like people living in general.
I kind of like to be around the folks every so often.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of like.
I like that there's other human beings out there that are
Right.
also alive and can.
So I won't be
be part of
totally
society
bored in the future. You
sure,
know?
You know.
But yeah, it's hard because, you know, there are certain restrictions which I'm not just totally. I don't want to say we're totally ignoring that. There's always an exception to something, and I'm not talking about, again. God, you know, I even want to stop it there. We're just getting too far into a heated subject that we don't need to talk about on this episode right now.
Edited.
Yeah. It's you guys know where we're going with this.
And let's speak of done safe and a good time is we'll go back to the con, how well that was laid out. You know, everybody that was there was safe. I did not see a point where I was genuinely worried.
Right.
And that's how it's done. It was on a smaller scale that I'm also used to. I'm sure you're used to.
Oh, yeah.
In general, but at the same time, you know, they did it safely. We had a blast. So I brought my kid. You know, she was there.
Yeah.
We got to give people moral support. Like, it was, just...
the moral support option on our spin wheel was probably the hit of the fucking day.
I think we definitely got to throw that one to Hobbit. I think
I think it's already been talked about where whenever there's a spin wheel that we do a table or an event like that, the moral support is going to be definitely
100%. 100%.
Spin wheel.
Yeah, but I know they were working on the wheel, you know, early right before, you know, things got cooking.
Right.
And they had that, but my love was the first person that came. I think it was either the first or second person. The first person I think was an older. I was probably 21, but young. With their boyfriend,
but not a child.
Young to us, sure. But at the same, you know, we were like, they spun the wheel and they got moral support. And we were like, yeah, and it was just that. You know, she got a smile on her face, and you could tell that she felt good for a minute. And then, you know, kids that would come up with their parents, we do the same thing for them. And you could tell that they were like, one kid was just like hands in the air. It was just a good time. Well, that is, you know, the world needs more of that. It was
right. Well, even I'm pretty sure they were two brothers would just come back. They were having fun with it. I don't feel like they were in like
the younger brothers.
Yeah. Where they would just come back and be like, "I need moral support," and we gave them moral support. They didn't even have to spin the fucking wheel. No, you know, we were just having fun with the guys out there.
Yeah, it made them feel cool or made them feel good. Like, why the hell not? I was as loud as I possibly could be.
I think all of us were, man.
Oh, there were. I actually went into a Wawa where somebody had noticed us.
Really?
And they were working there, and so they had said something to me in the form of like, "Was that you?" At that, and I was like, "Yeah." That was us at the table. If you probably heard us yelling moral support, and she's laughing. She's like, "Yeah, well, everyone heard it." I was like, "Okay, good,
awesome,
good."
But But you know what? That's
It's for a good reason.
exactly. I mean, not only were we just trying to be good to the people, for an event like that to happen for so long, and for especially the kids, like, I feel bad because both cons, neither of my children were able to attend, just other stuff happening.
Right.
They were doing more kid-friendly stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, as much as they can enjoy a con, they were doing a friend's birthday party one of those days, you know, and other stuff was happening. So that's fun. That gave me, if anything, a little bit of daddy time.
Sure.
You know, to go out there and enjoy some stuff. But both the cons were just a total support of the community, which is what we're all about. You know, and I just totally dug it. It was something that was needed so badly after so long of barely... You know, it was such a big deal for just us to get together to do a GUI episode, but to be out there and to not only say who we are and tell people what we're about, but it seemed like people genuinely enjoyed it and were having a good time. Whether or not they're listening, they had a great time while we were doing
our table.
it. You know?
And I mean, the place was busy, but I mean, our table kept busy. It kept going, like, to a point where, like, we had to, like, step outside for a minute and be like, whoa, shit.
Right.
But, you know, it was a great time. If there's one complaint I have, is that there was a Chewbacca there, and I think the guy, I can only imagine, was hot. This is purely speculation.
Right.
Well, the guy was in the suit. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I can only imagine it was hot as fuck, and he was just like, all right, I'm done with this bullshit. You know, fuck, Chewbacca's head can sit out for everybody to look at. So I keep looking, and I could never find, like, for 2 hours. And then, because I saw him when we got there, then we were getting set up. And then by the time we were, like, in it, couldn't find him. So couldn't find the person in the costume or the costume.
I know who you were talking about because we were actually talking about it for a minute. Yeah.
Because I always go up, especially with my kid when we go to those things, and I go... That's right.
We just redlined like a motherfucker.
That was for the listeners. I Chewbacca hard.
Yes, you do.
I Chewbacca so hard.
So hard.
And I kept looking for him, and I'm like, "Where are you,
just
motherfucker?"
Wanted to scream out to him. So
I wanted
badly.
to talk. I just wanted to say hi. All right.
Yeah.
From a nerd to nerd, a geek to geek.
Fair enough.
You know, at least it wasn't. I didn't speak in Klingon. I can't speak that. But
I can't even come close. I can.
I'm sure I know
say
people
a
who
couple
can.
words just because I watched enough of the series, the various shows enough.
Yeah.
But that's about
what
it.
Next Generation's my personal favorite.
Between Next Generation and man, I still love DS9, dude.
I don't know. Nobody's Picard. I'm just saying.
No, well, you just like Picard because you guys have similar hair. So don't even try that.
This is why I shave my hair.
Well, that's
at this point, my beard is turning white, so it's...
Well, see, I don't understand why you don't appreciate it, because
gray.
Avery Brooks prefers a shaved head.
Well, that might be true, but...
And he played a great father on DS9. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he might look a lot better in his bald head than I do, or maybe...
Oh, he's a good-looking man.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll say that.
He's definitely, like, he's a stud. I'm not that way. I think he was in American History X as well. Same guy, right?
Oh, shit,
the captain.
Right. Yeah, that's right. He was,
he's amazing in that.
Yeah,
so
he played a great character.
He's
in
a
that,
bad motherfucker. Sure. Yeah, so I'm not.
Well, you know where I recognize him from because I'm just old.
Where
he was the sidekick to Spencer for Hire, that TV show back in the 80s.
I remember the TV show.
And his name was Hawk.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do more research on this guy.
Oh man, yes, do it. Well, because they made a Netflix movie that Marky Mark does under the same name, kind of similar premise.
Do they? What's the movie called?
Spencer.
Oh, Spencer for Hire.
Or I think they call it like Spencer Confidential or something, but it's supposed to be the same character premise and stuff like that.
Ooh,
so
that's
it's a good
awesome.
One.
Yeah.
But as you double check that for our records, there part of what we got to get into is because unfortunately some of this stuff after the dark time of last year, some of this has hit pretty late in the year, man. We're already getting, like I believe we already mentioned, we're getting ready for school. We're already in back to school mode, really, where the stores are having the sales and we got to get the supplies ready and everything like that.
Oh, the fun times. Yeah.
I know,
Look,
right?
quick side note, he also was Paris in The Big Hit, which is an awesome movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he played the big mob-type crime boss guy.
And the voice of No Car on Gargoyles TV show.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that one. Yeah, Avery Brooks is the shit, man.
Dude, he's a bad... Yeah. Because I knew he was like... You know, he went to... I think Deep Space Nine
You got to remember,
ended like a year after he did American History X. Yeah, but I bet you he's a fucking geek dad. I mean, I bet you he's probably I don't know if he's got a family. I haven't looked that deep into him.
I brought it up on the basically the famous parents or the crappy parents episode we did a few episodes ago, where I don't know how he is in real life, but that's why I wanted to make sure that what he did for Sirach Lofton, who played Jake Sisko in DS9, treated him as a son while they were filming. Because Sirach Lofton, I mean, has done a few other things, I believe, if I remember correctly, but that was his big intro. He started that as a young child and basically grew up doing for 7+ years doing DS9. That's what he grew up as, being a teenager and everything. Avery Brooks guided him as a parent for that. Like, there were ways, because also Avery Brooks helped at least direct, like possibly wrote
sort
some
of
episodes.
Surrogate, you'd say.
Basically, like, he was like a surrogate dad, like, because if you watch that show, it's just like, you can sit there and go, oh, they're actually acting like father-son.
Right.
No, their relationship was, they just weren't biological. You know, is really the big line that separated them.
That didn't matter.
Right.
Because he would stand up and he was like, I'm still going to, I'm going to shepherd you through, help you out.
But Avery really guided Sirach through, like, times, and was like, and the way they were on screen was just like, no, this is the way a father would do it. This is the way a father would react. And that's the way he approached that role when it came to Jake Sisko. So really impressed with that. And I'll even give another shout out to the Seventh Rule podcast, who gave us a little like on that episode as well, because I definitely, I tell you, I love the name drop, because I just want, typically the people we mention is we give mad respect to. So Sirach and everybody who's still involved with the Seventh Rule podcast, Aaron Eisenberg, which I feel still like an asshole that I forgot his last name when we did that episode. Great podcast. Yeah, they're still doing a great job.
Well, I certainly hope you wrote an apology tweet.
I think I apologized on, because I kind of did.
You gotta do it on the tweeter now.
Well, I tell you what, I'll even throw it out there, and I'll even name drop Sirach again when I tweet for the episode. That I'll be
there
like,
you go.
I'll be like, I apologize, but that just means we gotta get you on a show. So I'll throw it on.
It's got to be done face to face. You're old school. Yeah, it's got to be done. You want to do it with a handshake and a look in the eye? Maybe record.
I would love to. Well, even if we got to do it via Zoom, I will totally give a via Zoom handshake and apologize to Aaron, because Aaron Eisenberg is. He was such a great addition, and the way because I want to say Aaron started the Seventh World podcast. He started it with Sirach, but Sirach has carried on to the untimely passing of Aaron. So,
I'm totally down for, if
yeah, but I'll throw it out in the gauntlet if Sirach would love to join us. I'll say that to him and anybody else we give respect to parenting. I'm at that point now, because it's been so the dark times really put a crimp in things, to where like I say, we bring up the cons now and everything else. We're trying to get back into it.
Well, everybody has mild PTSD anyways.
Oh, for sure.
Whether they know it or not.
But, I mean, the fact that, from what I can tell, the people that I would want on our show give it the way it is. You don't technically need a filter for our show.
No.
Or anything on GUI.
No, fuck that. Yeah, fuck, no. This is not for children.
We're definitely doing it for us. This is not for the children. But, again, we've had non-parents on here as well. Because we need that perspective. We need that perspective of on the other side from wherever we are. We got to have that. Like Anthony has been on here. Anthony gave it great as being an uncle and stuff. We hear quite a bit from Hobbit being an uncle. We see it all across the lines.
Yes, those currently are their kids,
right,
or
exactly.
They feel that way. My brother's the same way.
Right, for sure.
He doesn't have one, but with his nephew and his niece, my daughter, like he definitely.
I had nieces and nephews before I had mine. Same way for sure. So, but yeah, I'll throw the gauntlet. I'll just have to remember to tag Sirach in the Twitter.
Sir,
release.
I challenge you to a duel.
No. I don't want to say a duel, but I challenge you to Zoom with us so we can talk with you and talk shop.
Well, as a geeky person, as a geeky father, in my head, of course, I had Princess Bride.
Yes,
excuse me. I did have Princess Bride, but then Princess Bride then led to Men in Tights. Don't ask me how I got there. I guess similar in
medieval tight pants.
Yeah, the medieval tight pants. It's the name of this episode.
It's at least going to be a hashtag, I think.
Yeah, medieval tight pants.
Medieval tight pants.
But I couldn't help but go to to Men in Tights. We said that. Don't ask me.
And of course, the first thing I go to with Men in Tights is limiting your ears, and everybody throws the fake ears up there.
That's disgusting. Yeah.
And who was it? That was Dave Chappelle, right?
Well, Dave Chappelle played Achu, who technically is playing, Morgan Freeman's character in Prince of Thieves.
From the Kevin Costner.
Yeah, from the Kevin Costner.
But I just still he had the Reebok pumps, and he was just like, hold on, got a pump.
That's fantastic.
Just little stupid shit from that movie. It's I love it. I fucking love it.
But I've watched that. I've watched that with my kid in some capacity. There's some things. I think it was on TV and edited, so that's probably good. In that particular movie, it's probably good.
Yeah, because that's definitely a Mel Brooks joint.
Yeah, Mel Brooks. I mean, some of the Mel Brooks things, especially like Spaceballs, for example. But she's watched Men in Tights. We've watched Young Frankenstein, and that's
okay. I don't know how we got on the Mel Brooks old man tangent, but
Men in Tights.
Well, I know, but yeah, I mean it's Mel Brooks too, so
it is Mel. I mean,
talk about a character to get on the show. Am I gonna have to start tagging Mel Brooks too?
Dude, if you could get, I think Mel Brooks is fairly aged, but I mean, if he would, be like, sure, I'll do it, but you got to come to us or you got to come to me. All right, we will find a way to come to you. We will
crowd flight out to fucking California.
I don't care if we have to go. I don't care if we have to go fund me. Of course, let people know that there's other people who seriously do need the money. So this is honestly if you're cool with it.
I will not buy vinyl for a whole month to go see Mel Brooks.
Well, there's so many other important things on GoFundMe and things like that. I learned the other day that EMS services frequently put out GoFundMe accounts to help, which makes me
ones and volunteer groups,
which makes me sad because I've talked to my kid a million times about that. She loves seeing the fire trucks go by. I was sort of mixed into the EMT thing a long time ago in another life. So
my brother's a firefighter, man.
Yeah, your brother's a I'm sure he's much closer to it in that way. Plus, especially in smaller towns or smaller communities, townships.
It's more of those volunteer houses, the counties that are in the rural counties on bumfuck Egypt shit, that really need that support.
Yes.
So go find your local EMS volunteer house, which unfortunately that's another problem is that most of the volunteer houses have been closed due to the dark times last year. So that's just the way I prefer to refer it to.
The times that shall not be named.
Yes.
100%.
So
bullshit.
So I'm going to say this is an old man tangent show as well because we've gone all over the place, but we are...
Well, I was trying to, during this whole time we were talking shit back and forth, I'm trying to look for a quote because we're talking about Avery Brooks.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite lines is something out of American History X, but it's so parental in the way that he says it.
Yeah.
That I remember watching it and it had an impact on me and I was like, fuck. Let me ask myself this question. But he's, he looks at Edward Norton's character and he just says, you need to ask, and I'm sure I'm messing it up, but it's like, you need to ask yourself, has anything you've done made your life better?
Right.
You really ask yourself.
Because that was even the whole part right before it's the flashbacks, I believe, to when he was in jail and Edward Norton got
he got attacked in the...
He got manhandled.
He got attacked in the shower.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
He definitely got violated and attacked in the shower. But after the fact, Avery Brooks comes to visit him in the infirmary, and he, and as he's at his lowest as a person could be at that moment, or I wouldn't even just say man, but it's just a person that could be at that low.
Shell at that point, really. But
and he just, I guess, in really quality parent mode, just sits there, and even though he's not his kid, but looks after him, sees the potential in him, goes, has anything you've done made your life better? And all of a sudden it was like, that's the realization.
And that's why I think that's why I've referenced Avery Brooks so much as well. And it's going to be the Brooks episode because it's between Mel Brooks and Avery Brooks. We're just talking about the Brooks guys there. I believe he has children, but the way he is taking parenting and incorporated to the way he directs, the way he writes, the way he portrays his characters, because a lot of characters he has, he may not be, the character itself may not have a direct child, right? But it's definitely a parental situation that a lot of his characters find themselves in.
Yeah, it's sort of like, I think,
and I can only imagine directors and stuff going, Avery, you do you. You know, I mean, for real, some of those shots, like, for the most part, you know, Rora's getting all worked up back there. If you
can't hear in the background, my dog is losing her shit.
Right? Are you about to pull a Kevin Smith and Shecky situation where you just got to yell?
Aurora, shut up!
There you go.
So, no, she's outside. I'm sure she
redlined this
Have
episode.
I really?
Yes, twice you've redlined this.
I should have stepped further back.
You should have stepped back further.
Scooted back.
Thankfully, I'm going to edit this thing. So again, any new listeners, we apologize because this is the way our shows go, but yet it's the way they need to go.
Oh, I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't apologize for shit.
Oh, I'm not apologizing. I'm just apologizing if you're not used to it. Get used to it, though.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm so sorry that you had to walk into this, but tough shit. Walk it off.
I'm sorry you're having to come into the middle of, oh, well, shit. You know what? Speaking of something new, just to keep segueing into new shit that we've definitely, well, we do pretty good about most topics we talk about. However, what we should talk about is not this episode. And of course, I'm a total schmuck and forgot to double check my numbers, but we will hit episode 100 this month in August.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
If we stay on schedule, late August.
Yeah, it'll be the last episode of the month.
Last episode of the month, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to. That
was so just
bad.
terrible.
I was trying to get away from it, but you had to bring it back.
That's what I would do in front of my kid, just to embarrass the shit out of her.
Oh no, fair.
That's
totally fair on that one.
It's everything I do now. So,
but maybe we'll have to think of something fun to do because that is by the time we release it, at least we'll have to see when we can record it. Mm-hmm. But that will be like less than a week before school starts. By the time we release it, we're
gonna do a luau. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a luau themed
You do not
party
see
with
me in a
blow up pools. Oh, I do, and I feel like the world wants to see you in it as well.
I don't know. That could be scary as hell, man.
I don't know. I don't know about scary. I think
as I love to mess with people, I that's why I tell them I give my wife the courtesy of turning off the lights. So putting me in a coconut brawl, I don't know, would be much better.
Yeah.
I mean, for the censors, I would be covered, but for everything
He's like,
else,
I love her so much, I still try to catfish her.
Right, exactly. It's just like...
He's like, what are you doing?
It's me, but it's not really me, baby. Yeah. It's fine.
You dumb bastard. I know what you look like.
Right? Anyways.
I do the same shit.
Yeah, so. fair. But what we doing, like, one thing I did earlier, it was either earlier this week or last week, based on when we're recording, is I definitely put out there, because I knew we had some new people following. I've talked to... I'm part of some parenting groups as well, and usually I try to keep a low key, but I did mention, I was like, hey, you know, I'm not trying to sell anything, but we do this. You know, I try to do it casually because too many people are in your face, you know, Facebook, you know, I mean, social media is just that catch-22 devil, you know.
Should you go to like a Parents Anonymous meeting?
No.
So you can go there and vent about your kids?
It's a pretty fun group. It's a punk rock parenting group.
Okay.
So, it kind of fits into, well, if you've ever seen Smash, he wouldn't be your atypical punk rock, especially sitting next to me, but we make it work. Punk rock is a state of mind, though.
Oh no, yeah, I do fucking.
By looks,
I do no. Fucking yeah. I just like anyone else. I do. Right. I do me. I don't give a shit what you do.
And then I do me too. But hence why I have fucking tattoos everywhere and still piercings, and it just is the way I am.
Yeah, yeah.
That's punk rock.
That's true.
You know, that's just the way it goes. But
individual as fuck.
Yeah. I'm so individual. I look like 5 other dudes in Richmond, but. I digress.
I'm so individual, selfie.
Right? No, I don't. I'm not a selfie person. You should know that.
No, generally I have a rule of thumb is the only time I really take them is if I'm forced to, which is most of the time.
Right.
Or like I'm out with my kid and I want to like get something in the background, or I'm out with, Jim, like getting something in the background.
Try to remember, because the memories are going.
If it's what, that's a memory. If it's a memory moment, that might be different.
Right.
But but more often than not, I don't even.
And I totally even forgot what we were going on with that. But episode 100 by the end of the month, and we'll be figuring out something. Hopefully, a little extra something to do. Because again, like planning shit has been weird. Like if I feel like my timetables are even worse than like I'm horrible with my timelines anyways. Mm-hmm. But with the limited amount of time we've had this summer, when stuff barely just opened up and just enough to get some stuff done, I'm like, holy shit, what do I do? And I feel like I'm juggling like 3 times as much, but it should be easier because there's more shit to do. But it's
Yeah, instead of just sitting around juggling your balls.
Basically, don't talk about my Friday night like that.
Friday night playing Call of Duty, fondling your balls.
Why am I waiting in this lobby so long? Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle.
Where's the wife and kids? Not home.
No, they're just asleep. That's all it is.
Oh, hey.
That's the way it works in my house.
Door locked behind.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
Ball fondling.
So that one, I will apologize to any new listeners that have to hear about me jiggling my balls.
Oh.
Anyway,
Man, I just realized that you saying that out loud means that I have to sleep with that tonight in my brain.
As you should, sir.
There's only, as we get older, there's only a finite amount of information our brains can hold.
That's true.
Something important just got popped out.
Yes.
And you fondling your balls has now taken that spot. That was probably a really important memory. Social security number? Who gives a fuck?
It's me jiggling my balls.
It's you jiggling your balls. You son of a bitch.
I know. You love it.
Yeah.
You love it. Aren't you glad I brought you on this show?
Oh, yes. This is why I drink well. No, I'm just kidding.
It's why I drink. I know that much. Just jiggling my own balls, I got to drink. Anyways.
That's true.
What I was also saying was that I put it out there just, unfortunately haven't heard much, but again, in comparison to a lot of the other GUI shows, we're low totem. We know this. But hopefully enough listeners and everything, and if you didn't see any of the social media stuff, we definitely want to hear more from everybody out there.
Yeah.
We let up joking a lot about that, but this is kind of serious because we love what we do. We're going to continue doing it. Hopefully you continue to listen.
And look, if you, for whatever reason, you want to listen to us, schlubs talk about whatever we're going to talk about,
right?
Throw something out there that interests you. Well, we will do our research, and we will come back with our schlub response and our schlub point of view from a Geekfathers perspective.
And what we always talk about, the reason why, there's no limits to who we have on this show and everything, because we need to hear what's outside of our realm as well. Mm-hmm. We need to know what's out there. Like if we're not covering a topic properly, even if we've been misinformed ourselves, I have no problem. I can sit there and go, "Oh, I made a mistake. Let's rectify this, and correct that issue."
Right.
And so hearing from you is the way to go. So
from me,
for you, I look you in the eye as I say this, but I am speaking to the listeners.
Oh.
Because I just like looking. Our glasses reflect.
We've been doing this a long time. I should know that.
You should.
That's me getting older.
That is.
Live in a cloud now.
And how many beers are you into?
Just 1.5.
One. Yeah, but they're big uns. They're not exactly the.
They're like
regular
4.5%. I'm just I'm a lightweight.
Fair. You gotta go smoke.
Smash is a lightweight for 100% sure. That's
true. But guys, we still need to hear from you. So whether it's just on the Facebook or the I need to get better on Instagram. I'm horrible about posting that stuff. Facebook is usually the way to go, or when I release, because I handle the editing and releasing of the episodes, if you didn't know already. We just need to hear from you. And of course, you can do that through the social media stuff. We do have the email, which is geekfatherpodcast, GUI@gmail.com.
That's right.
So keep that in mind, guys, or even the GUIpodcast.com. If you need to go through GUI flagship to get a hold of us, by all means, Hobbit has no problem relaying messages or making sure we get shit that we need for the show. So, but part of this is that we've been we're revamping, reformatting a few things. We're still going to bring you the old man tangents, the random rants that you hear on this show about, because parenting does that to you. It's the parenting brain.
This is why we constantly have to readjust.
Exactly.
I can't even, I mean, we were just talking about this earlier, like general basic English these days, I swear to God, it's like,
off the charts.
I know, say a complicated word, like spaghetti. Like it's, it's not spaghetti anymore, it's sketty.
That's just stick to sketty. I like the kids term better, so.
Our brains are reverting back to like the younger.
It's full cycle, man. It's the full cycle.
Talking about feeling like a kid again. And then as we get to the end of this, I do want to go into something as I wanted to give a spotlight on a, geek father out there, a celebrity geek father. That I know that we just went through like Avery Brooks and Mel Brooks too, and his son did World War Z. Wrote World War, right. So I mean, that's definitely honorable mentions.
About that when we were talking about it, right?
And that just popped into my brain. But now, I wanted to get into Ivan Reitman, which, if you don't know, I'll throw out just some basic names, some movie names.
Well, and again, let me throw out a reminder too. I will I stopped doing it for a while, but I'm gonna start tagging the shit out of anybody we can. Because,
you may want to ask their permission first.
Well, no, I'm talking about on Twitter. You can tag them saying, it basically says you were mentioned in a post.
Yes.
That's all it does. But I want to make sure, because it's not even come do our show. I mean, Srock and others, sure. We would love you guys to do the show.
I don't think Ivan Reitman's going to come on, but if he does, that would be pretty amazing.
But the fact of, to give a person proper props to what he's doing, what we're talking about, because the people I tag are only the positive. I refuse to tag someone that's being an asshole.
Well, yeah, we don't.
So if
my rule, like,
right,
I don't care where you come from, just don't be an asshole.
Basically, so that's what I mean. Like, it's a matter of tagging, of going, hey, that's for us. That's us giving a thumbs up, going, we appreciate what you do.
Sure,
is really the long run of it.
And look, if he listens to this and somehow goes, man, something in that guy's voice,
those sweet melodic, like songbirds.
This was something he said, or the way he said it, and just it went into my ear and into my brain. And just I knew. I had to come on to Geekfathers and sit there with Scotty P and smash.
I really don't like the way you're looking at me when you say that.
You lying son of a bitch, you love it.
I do. I am a little. Never mind.
Okay. So I'm gonna get to another love of mine, platonically.
So before we scare them away, before even tagging them in a show,
yes,
let's talk about Ivan Reitman.
Yeah, Ivan Reitman, genius. Okay, so if you don't know, he was part of such movies as Ghostbusters 2, Kindergarten Cop, Dave Jr. A very underrated movie that I love is Evolution, and that has David Duchovny in it. Coming off of
I fucking love that movie. That even has Ethan Suplee in it.
It's got
who was?
I think it's got Scott Stifler from Scott Sean William Scott. Thank you.
Oh, who is it? Gillian Anderson that plays the female lead?
Yeah, Gillian. Whatever.
Yeah. And who's the other? Oh, he does Samurai Jack. He voices Samurai Jack. What's his name? He does a bunch of voices.
You talking about X-Files? David Duchovny?
No, his buddy in the movie.
Oh, Orlando Jones.
Yes,
Orlando Jones.
God,
he was also in The Replacements, another underrated comedy that I personally love.
Dude, I fucking love that.
It's a great movie. When it comes on, I'm like, it's great.
Keanu, I'm a huge Keanu Reeves fan.
Yeah, we love the Keanu Reeves right
Hackman, here. I mean, there were some good players. Like,
there was some heavy hitters in that movie.
Right? No, that was. There you go. You saw what I was doing.
Yeah, let's get to Ivan Reitman so we can wrap this up so the people listening to this don't.
That's true. I guess we should have a time limit.
Yes, we should have a time limit. Ghostbusters, like I said, Twins, Ghostbusters 2, Kindergarten Cop, Draft Day, Meatballs, and this Ivan Reitman has had some of the more prolific movies that I personally will always love.
Well, a good chunk of those were 80s, early 90s when we were growing up, man. I mean, like...
I mean, he did things past that. He did, like I said, after the kindergarten
Well, I'm talking about the impressionable years. But yeah, no, he went far
years.
above and beyond as well, like into our adult years as well. But, you know, just those childhood memories.
Well, he did Father's Day. I didn't realize that until now, which
one was
Father's Day is Billy Crystal and Robin Williams.
Ah, yes.
Almost like a My Two Dads situation where they don't know who the son is, and the son is the guy that plays in Waiting at the end. That if you've ever seen the movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds,
well, and that kid,
he does the bat or the brains or something at the end and shows his balls to everybody.
Right. Well, he went on to also do Bones, which I love that show.
Yes, he was Sweets on Bones. That's his character right there.
So 6 Degrees of Ivan Reitman, all right here in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean he's the point is he's been a part of so many things, namely Ghostbusters, which for me, you know, Ghostbusters is, as being a geek father, that is me and my daughter's movie.
Fair.
When that is on, that is what we're watching. When it's Ghostbusters, it's Ghost. She loves Bill Murray. Like when she was so young, she loved Bill Murray. Warmed my heart. I was like, because Bill Murray, he's Bill Murray. Like he's just Bill Murray. That's just
fucking Murray.
It's Bill fucking Murray. I know that's not your middle name, but you know it's Bill Murray. So the, you know, I got to give him the sort of celebrity geek father spotlight, because what he gave to his son, Jason Reitman, who also has become a heavy hitter director in his own right. You know, he's done tons of things. Juno, for one. I didn't realize that
Juno,
he did it. Yes.
Talk about the ultimate, like, parenting movie, because that was also, I want to say, the first time I saw J.K. Simmons outside of Oz, if I remember correctly.
Outside of the Oz TV show?
Yes.
Oh, that's a whole...
Yeah, so you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's like a whole different thing.
Exactly, but again, J.K. Simmons is J.K. fucking Simmons, so...
Well, I'll give the listeners a list of Thank You for Smoking. Great movie.
Hell yeah.
That's a great movie.
Aaron Eckhart was
fantastic.
Movie.
When he got ambushed and they stuck the nicotine patches all over his body.
Yeah.
And he was a heavy smoker in the movie who lobbyist for the tobacco companies.
Right. And he said that they said smoking was the only thing that actually saved him, but he should quit now.
Right. You had the levels in your system so that it wasn't such a shock that you died. Right. But if you have one cigarette, you're dead.
Yeah.
Like your body's going to go into straight shock and you're going to die. So they're Up in the Air with George Clooney and Anna Kendrick.
Oh yeah,
that's a really underrated, really good movie too. And he's done, and of course he's got Ghostbusters Afterlife, in which he's directly continuing the story from I imagine the second one, and bringing it life. With sort of, I think, the kind of his dad being around still helping him. Not necessarily helping him, but just being there for the inspiration of how he put away the first one. And if you've looked at the new trailer, which we looked at...
That new trailer... I got all misty, man.
It was it's absolutely amazing. And some people were very upset in the sense of like, oh, was that just like Ghostbusters and, you know, Stranger Things? It's like, no, it looks like the 80s, first off.
See, that's going to be the first problem, and I feel bad because as much as we love Stranger Things, that's going to be the hardest part for any of those kids to get other acting.
Anyone
gigs.
Younger than
it's going to be, you're just doing Stranger Things.
Well,
no,
I'm sure
they're actors. Let them do what they want to do.
I'm sure some adults probably feel the same way, older than us, but
they get pigeonholed like a motherfucker.
They do. They absolutely do. But I will say that you know, anytime you have a really solid tone to a movie, which Stranger Things does, in the way that it's shot, it's photography, all of that, sound. When you have something that solid, they took the 80s and they turned, you know, and they took more newer tactics to filming and they brought it to a younger generation, and that's just the way they think that older movies, you know, when somebody does them, that's the way they're going to look now. Right. You know, and I will give it to Jason Reitman because the story that I can see that he's trying to continue looks like it's actually going to do justice to the original two movies, which to me is what means the most. And if it's shot really well, if it's shot like Stranger Things, which is one of my favorite shows, one of my daughter's favorite shows. It's beautifully shot. I love the way everything about that show.
Oh yeah,
That does not piss me off. And
No way.
secondly, if you look at the original Ghostbusters versus the second Ghostbusters, the way it's shot's pretty standard.
Yeah.
There's nothing necessarily special about the way it's shot. Like maybe the angles on the roof as it blows up, those sort of things. But generally, it's not. Anyways, that was my old man tangent. It just pisses me off when people it's like
it's the typical fanboys for so many things where it's just like, yeah, sure, there are things we don't like, but I'm not gonna prejudge it either until I actually watch the movie. Like, obviously, a great thing. Who again, I mean, we'll talk about great famous parents, and nothing to take away from Ivan and Jason Reitman on this. But I'm sure there's going to be a great homage to Harold Ramis.
well,
Who unfortunately is no longer, who was a great parent and did so much of the writing and was so much the driving force behind not only Ghostbusters, but we're talking about that a little bit more specifically.
He was more at Groundhog's Day. Like he had his amazing ones under the belt. So, and he was Egon, which is what the story revolves around, is Egon's family, his daughter and his grandkids. So, I think personally, my prediction is what it's going to be is that he knew after New York, and after the sequel, that whatever ghost they did have, whatever containment, that they would take that containment and put it into middle of nowhere farmhouse along with the equipment, right?
Okay.
At the same time, the reason they probably did that was that there was probably a weak point because in the original movie, they got Tobin's spirit guide, not Tobin's spirit guide. Who was it? Who built the building? Damn it! Why am I gonna?
I can't think of the actual name.
Yeah,
that they
but
used,
he built it as a beacon.
Right?
Because that was probably a weak point that could break through time and space.
And so he found another one.
So there was another one, and Egon figured it out and set that up there just in case it was ever going to come to pass. But he passed away.
Right.
But in his will, leaving it to his family.
Yeah, because it looks like we're going to give a couple of these quick predictions, and then we're going to wrap up the show here for this evening. But it really looks like it is going to be a real big throwback to the OG one, because you see in the trailer the statue of looks like the one spirit, the one woman spirit that at the end with the flat top and stuff. It looks like there's some statue thing to her. Those devil dogs come, the gatekeepers come back.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great
Lord Orthos is the gatekeeper and the keymaster, and Gozer the traveler.
Why? For some reason, whenever I hit record and we start doing the episode, I cannot remember a name to save my fucking life.
Oh no, I do that shit all the time. But as you couldn't remember, it popped into my head.
Right.
But yeah, Gozer actually.
That's why I really needed a co-host to remember Gozer as we talked about Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Actually, in the trailer, there's a scene in the trailer where the young Egon, the girl playing her, are playing Egon's granddaughter.
Right.
I don't remember her name off the top of my head.
She's another great one too.
Yeah,
she's a great up and comer.
She looked down and what looks like is Gozer's arm. And even the ghosts in the trailer and the line of ghosts breaking free look like Ghostbusters 1 when music starts playing, they turn off the containment unit. In that famous scene.
Well, and it looks like we're going to probably get a Slimer Jr. of some type, because that's the one that they're chasing through the streets.
Yeah, it could be.
So, I mean, let me put it this way, and I say this, and I know you're saying it the same way, is that this is not by any means to demean what Jason Reitman is doing. I have full belief that he is going to follow the proper path for this Ghostbusters story.
After seeing the trailer, first off, Paul Rudd could, if he was that age back when the first movie was made, I have no doubt he would have been in that movie. Paul Rudd is absolutely perfect to be in this movie. The small little Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, it just everything just seems to fit and it looks beautiful. And I want to give it up to his dad. For what he's done, especially with Ghostbusters, and being an awesome geek dad.
Ivan
Reitman.
Because he went from Paul Rudd right back to the Reitman.
Yeah, sure.
So I just want to make sure,
And then kind of bleeding that down to his son, and his son doing great movies, and now coming full circle and bringing that legacy forward.
This is basically going to be like an homage Jason Reitman is doing to Ivan Reitman.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Dan Aykroyd, because Dan Aykroyd originally is the one that wrote the script. It was a
That's
whole
true.
different script at the time. But
Yeah,
he
that is
originally
true.
wrote the script. And,
And let's just say the cameos because obviously not Harold Ramis, I'm sure because he's in pictures.
apparently all the rest of them
But the
are.
rest of them shall be making cameos, including Sigourney Weaver. So I'm stoked. I am really stoked on this fucking movie.
I'm pretty ecstatic, and it's going to come out soon enough. And on a Geekfather note, just to the left, today dropped a Cobra Kai season 4 trailer.
Yes.
With coming out December.
So we'll
stop. We'll stop it there.
But we definitely maybe before season 4 hits of Cobra Kai, we'll maybe need to do a what we predict episode on Cobra Kai, because that's been a heavy hitter, and we had our one episode after what was it, season 1 or season 2, the follow up GY flagship. But yeah, I think we need to touch a bit because definitely some more lines have been crossed and some things have definitely gone crazy in that show in a great way. In a very great way. So
I like that.
Yeah. We'll definitely do a Cobra Kai episode. But again, guys, that just also refers back to give us your ideas. If there's something you feel like we should cover, you have an idea, or even want to elaborate on anything we've already done, give us a heads up. Let us know. If you want to check out any of those old episodes and, of course, the current episodes, if you go right into gypodcast.com, catch out all of our shows along with GY Flagship from the shows we mentioned that we've been able to guest on this week that will drop over the next couple weeks. Beautiful Disasters from the Mouths of Madness. Bruce still gives us a great idea of what is coming in the future weeks with the pre-cap. And again, gypodcast.com, catch all the shows, or just wherever you do, wherever you get your podcasting needs, stream us.
Wherever you get them met, we're there to meet them.
There to meet them, guys. So that's basically, I think, going to wrap us up this episode, man. We definitely brought it back full force, Geekfather style. Old man tangents all around. We're going to have some great name dropping going on. And I mean that in this more of the sincerest form of flattery, where if any famous person who actually listens to the episode not just sees that they got tagged in something, it's just flattery. If you want to join us, whether you're a parent or not,
reach out to us and tell us what you enjoy from a geek's perspective.
Yeah, you don't even have to be on the episode. Tell us what you like.
Right. And the amazing thing about being a geek is that it doesn't have to be like movies and TV shows and toys or something.
Right.
It could literally be anything.
Exactly. An activity
that you are passionate about. And something that you'll know everything about that people will go, damn, he's a fucking geek or a nerd, that you've passed down to your kin,
right.
to your children or and that's, let us know. That would be so cool. We'd love to highlight some of those things that people do and be like, what are your stories?
At the very least, I would say, because we know time is precious. So
we're going to take up more of it.
Right, we're going to take
motherfuckers.
No, you don't have to be on the episode, but if we're even able to quote you on something, I would say that would be great for us. But again, I know we're pushing hard. We are sucking on that proverbial dick at this point for them famous people. But again, it's more so because we are fans. This is what we are instilling to our children, just for...
We're nerds. We're geeks. We nerd out. We're,
exactly.
But we're parents.
Yep.
And so that's going to bleed onto our kids. We just hope that the right things reach down to your kids, and always understand that for us, when we show something to our kid, they know it's not real. Like they know it's coming from someone's imagination. That's a very important part of being a geek dad, is allow yourself to be taken away with your imagination, but always understand that it's not real. And
then if you get the little bonus of what we like to do here on Geekfathers, you can whip out a little message at them, show some pride for the community. We're all one tribe with this together. That's the very least we could ask for. And as they grow into some type of competent human being, that's the very least. And anybody who we name drop on this show has influence on that. So that's really the main reason why I would want to tag you in it. So if you get
tag
this
them
far,
all, tag them hard.
Oh, tag them all and tag them hard.
Just make sure you get permission first.
Right. Well, you can tag somebody. It's just whether or not they do anything after that is up to them.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. I mean, you can tag the shit out of them, but
tag with style.
They could just be like, "Oh, some schmo tagged me again," and leave it at that. Or they could actually listen. Right. And hopefully enjoy what we've said, given, like I said, sucking on the proverbial dick for it. And
imagine someone of serious stature just going, what is going on with this?
What the hell is Geekfathers? These assholes need a walk on. Which is basically what we're going to do now, because we are at the end of this episode. So guys, thank you very much. Again, catch not only us, but all the other great GUI shows, GUIpodcast.com. Again, if you don't want to use any of the social media, which again, Twitter is at Geekfather, the number 1, at Geekfather1. Instagram, just in case, I believe is Geekfather GUI. God, I'm bad with the Instagram. If you type in the Geekfathers, you'll find us on Instagram. But guys,
we're everywhere.
We are. We're still everywhere. Just people don't know about it yet.
We're everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Exactly. We're in a very weird limbo.
Yeah. I'm on the East Bank. I'm on the West Bank.
On that note, we'll let you guys get out of here. Thank you very much for listening. But don't forget, join us.
Or cry.
Coming straight from the mouths of madness, I'm Lowdown.
I'm FU Hunter.
Do you love horror?
We fucking do.
So this is a podcast dedicated to all things in cinematic horror. We're talking movies, television, composers, special effects artists. We're gonna fucking cover it.
So if you love horror,
embrace the madness.
GUIpodcast.com